Okay, we're going to do the third part of our little series here on field stripping the M1. We're going to put it back together now. This is actually the easy part now that you've seen all the little parts. So we've got our 4N wood, slide it onto the barrel, just like that. We've got our cylinder, whoops, turn it around the right way. It'll slide onto the barrel. And then we have our lock, which will screw on. It's a right-hand thread, so we'll go clockwise to tighten it. Just like that, all the way till it's tight. That's tight. Don't force it, just tight. Now these will never line up. Don't worry about it. Just tighten it up with your fingers and then back it off until the lock is lined up correctly, and then you can put the plug in. Remember, it also is a right-hand thread. I'll use my left. I'll use the other hand so you can see it. So you go clockwise, tighten it up. When you tighten up that plug, it'll pull the two together. Use your little tool, tighten it up. So it has to be tight, you don't need to force it. So we've got that into the rifle put together. So I'm going to flip it around this way and we'll start in on all the parts. There's one thing I wanted to show you, I forgot to show you on the little parts. And I've got the op rod latch, and this is the op rod. I just wanted you to see how this can latch together. When the op rod's all the way back, this is what holds the bolt and the op rod open against spring pressure, is that latch right there. That's how it works. It's that simple. Okay, next step is the bolt. Remember, we've got to line that tang up with the slot in the receiver, and when we do, the bolt will just slip right in like that. Put it in its appropriate track, and you can tell it's there. It's nice and smooth. And what I do, I think it's a little easier, you just position the bolt about 3/4 of an inch or so from the back of the receiver. That way the op rod will be in the right spot. Now I wouldn't move the rifle because you need to see this part. This goes into the gas tube like that, and the op rod drops down onto the receiver. We'll get back into camera here. Okay, back to our 3/4 of an inch. Remember the slot I was telling you about? When you get this just right, it'll go in just like that, and it'll capture the bolt, and it'll be back in its track. You can tell it is because it locks the bolt, unlocks the bolt. Perfect. No problem there. Okay, what's next? Get this over here so you can all see it. There's the follower. It just drops in its track like that. Nothing to it. Then you've got the bullet guide, which will fit in its little slot like that. Then you've got the op rod lock, and remember I showed you the trick. It's got to go underneath the bullet guide, and it's got to get a hold of the latch in there. See it moving, so you know you got it. You can feel the spring pressure. You got the follower arm, slip through the bullet guide and go into the follower, just like that, and then it'll drop into the appropriate spot for that pin. And then the pin is what captures everything. So you got the large hole on this side, that's the way you start the pin. Put it in the hole, everything should just line up without any force. You should be able to push the pin in flush. That's it. All those little parts are now assembled in the rifle. So what we have left here is this big old spring, which goes inside the op rod. And we're going to compress it against spring pressure, so this is where it gets a little tricky. And we go down and we latch it onto the follower arm, just like that. So now it's captured. We've got the buttstock, which will fit back on in the front. That's how it's captured. It fits in there like that. Stock drops back onto the receiver. Then we have our trigger group. These little ears right here go in these appropriate slots. And when you get it right, it's obvious where it goes. When you get it right, it'll just fall together like that. And when you're pushing down on the trigger guard, you're pinching the wood between the receiver and the trigger guard. That's what holds the whole thing together. And then this latch right here is what keeps that locked. So you just push it together, push down, there's your click, so you know it's together. Now we'll check it, make sure it's functional. Open it up, weapon's clear, safety's on, like I showed you before. Press the follower, close the bolt, check the safety, it works, safety off, functions, clear the rifle, and there we are. That's field stripping an M1 Garand. So that you can clean it and lubricate it and put it back together in the field. And we did it with our little combi tool and or 1 round of ammunition. That's it. That's the gouge on how to field strip an M1 Garand. Thanks for watching.